Next on Good Morning El Paso. Gunfire in Ferguson, Missouri overnight. 2 police officers were shot during protests, and the gunman is still on the loose.
Meanwhile, in Las Cruces, a student accused of carrying a pipe bomb to school, and now he's getting suspension.
And making the Sun City proud, the ANDRESS Eagles will take the court in the Alamodome tonight as they play in the state Final Four of the state basketball playoffs.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso.
A very good morning, El Paso, Las Cruces, and Juarez. I'm Luke Lyddon.
And I'm Hillary Floren. Good morning, everyone. Nice to have you with us today, and on such a gorgeous day, too,
it's
right?
It's perfect, yeah. It's nearly perfect conditions. We like to think so.
That's right. Crystal Cly is standing by right now. That's a lot to live up to. Perfect.
It's hard work, but someone's got to do the forecast for it, and it is looking very good. You're right. This morning, temperatures not bad at all. We're sitting at 52 degrees in El Paso outside. Winds are calm, and a relative humidity just 56%. It is more chilly in Las Cruces, but now at 44 degrees, so warmer than the 30s we saw about an hour ago. Winds at 3 miles per hour. And on that clouds and radar map, as we warned yesterday, some clouds are starting to move on into our forecast area right along the west edge, with notice some very light rain picking up on radar. We're talking very light, so much so that some of this may not be making it to the ground. Today will be a mix of mostly clear and partly cloudy sky conditions, although rain showers aren't looking super likely. There is a slight shot. We'll talk about where that chance is and then where it spreads to in the days to come in a few minutes.
All right, Crystal, thank you. Around-the-clock news out of Ferguson, Missouri this morning. 2 police officers were shot overnight outside police headquarters. It happened at a demonstration. Dozens of protesters were celebrating the police chief's resignation and calling for more dismissals. That's when 2 officers were shot, both wounded seriously. The shooter remains on the loose this morning, and we will have more on this story later on Good Morning El Paso.
A Las Cruces student is on a short-term suspension right now after being caught Tuesday evening with a pipe bomb. Doña Ana Sheriff's officials are telling us the device had the potential to cause serious harm. Bomb technicians said it even had enough power to blow someone's hand off. School officials say the pipe bomb was found at Mesilla Valley Alternative Middle School. As for the student, he is being charged with negligent use of an explosive, and that is a Class 3 juvenile citation. The student is also being referred to the Juvenile Assessment and Reporting Program.
ABC7's New Mexico Mobile Newsroom is learning more about the man accused of raping a woman living in a nursing home. Investigators say 25-year-old Peter Dylan Lucero entered the room of the 50-year-old woman at the Good Samaritan Society Center and raped her. According to a statement of facts, Lucero told detectives the victim asked him if she could perform a sex act on him. Lucero allegedly said he agreed, then had sex with her. But that's not what the victim told nurses. A nurse told detectives she found the woman on the floor, partially naked. When detectives interviewed the victim, she was hesitant when asked if Lucero raped her and told detectives she could not remember what happened. The Good Samaritan home tells ABC7 they're assisting the patient and her family through this time.
University Medical Center and the Children's Hospital have agreed on a term sheet at last, but not everyone is familiar with that term. The sheets are essentially bullet points outlining terms and conditions of a business agreement. That's what attorneys use to craft the final contracts. So what is different between the one that was agreed on and the one proposed back in February? The agreed plan says El Paso Children's will remain a separate corporate entity for 4 years instead of the 2 years listed in the first term sheet. UMC now has the right to appoint and/or remove Children's Hospital board members, and a board member cannot serve as a director for El Paso First Health Plans. Possibly one of the biggest changes that shows faith in sustaining Children's Hospital is the removal of the bankruptcy clause. That was instead replaced with a joint communication plan. And the due diligence phase has been shortened now from 60 days to end April 30th. In other news, an Eastside electronics store will soon be closing its doors for good.
I was going to buy a laptop today, and I'm surprised they're closed.
A lot of people were surprised yesterday when this announcement was made. The TIGERDIRECT store on Viscount was closed, but it is open today. It will be open today. It will eventually close for good, though. A spokeswoman for TIGERDIRECT tells us the company is shifting its focus now and closing its more than 30 stores nationwide. About 40 employees work at the Viscount location. We're told they have been notified and offered severance help. The spokeswoman says they expect all their stores to be closed by the end of June.
The investigation continues into a deadly oil rig explosion in Upton County. This happened Tuesday morning about 40 miles south of Midland. The 3 people killed, who have yet to be identified, were all related. One person, though, did survive the blast. Officials say a polling unit crew was working at the site when the explosion happened, but no other details were released.
The state of Texas is almost out of the drugs needed to make the lethal injection cocktail. 46-year-old Manuel Vasquez was put to death yesterday. He was a Mexican mafia hitman convicted of beating and strangling a San Antonio woman. With his execution, Texas only has enough of the powerful sedative to carry out one more execution. In recent years, states across the country have struggled to maintain a supply of lethal injection drugs because manufacturers either stopped producing them or barred their use in executions. Tennessee has said it will electrocute inmates if it can't get the drugs, and Utah, well, they're going back to the firing squad.
There is heavy fighting in the Iraqi city of Tikrit, the hometown of Saddam Hussein. Iraqi soldiers and Shiite militiamen swept into the city, which has been in the hands of ISIS for about a year now. Local officials say Iraqi troops have raised their country's flag over Tikrit's General Hospital. Later in the day, Allied forces also swept into Tikrit from the south in an effort to squeeze out militants.
Well, Pope Francis is opening up now about the possibility of someone trying to harm him. Speaking to an Argentina magazine, the pontiff, who was raised in Argentina, says he has prayed about assassination and that he is at peace with that happening. The pontiff's comments come amid concerns that the terror group ISIS may be a threat to the Pope. The commander of the Vatican's security forces says such a threat does exist, but does not know of a specific plot at this time.
Coach Forbes is ready, the Sun City is ready, and it's now up to the ANDRESS Eagles to take care of business. The team is in San Antonio right now, getting ready to play in the Final Four of the state basketball tournament. They will play Lancaster tonight at 6 p.m. at the Alamodome. The winner will either go on to play Beaumont-Ozone or Cedar Park in the final on Saturday. ABC7's Danny Mata is in San Antonio right now, and he'll be in the Alamodome all day today, getting us ready for the game. And we'll have full highlights and reaction tonight on ABC7 at 10.
All right, go Eagles, big day. Here's a live look at I-10 in Porfirio Diaz. Things are moving along smoothly, if not pretty light right now. We'll keep an eye on things as they get a little busier.
And stay with us for more to come on Good Morning El Paso.
First it was Oklahoma, now there are accusations of racism against Mexicans at UT Austin. We'll take a look at the video causing controversy over there.
And later on, a sick and twisted case has police in Ohio confused this morning. The hunt is on for a man who thinks he can use the hoods of people's cars as a toilet.
Yeah, we could do without that story, but I guess it's happening. Let's check in with Crystal right now. Please just take us away.
Okay, let's talk something more interesting. Your forecast is looking very good. If you have plans to be outside later today, you're going to like me. We'll talk about it coming up after the break.
We like you, Crystal. This is ABC7, where news comes first.